Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite spreads from my past December dailies. So I've got from this one right here, which is my very first album from 2023, all the way up to that is going to, 2013, all the way up to that is my 2023 one that I've been working on, foundation pages. So I thought I'd go through. My first four are not in Ali Edwards albums, and they are very, you can tell with the age, you can see my progression. But I have a few favorite pages in those four, so we're going to start with those, and then we'll go through my more kind of quote-unquote modern albums and share with you some of my favorite pages from there too. All right, so let's start with my 2013 and my 2014. Both of these were handmade albums. So this album cover itself I purchased, but all of my pages in here I handmade with cardboard from like packaging that you get from like food boxes and stuff, right? So that's how I was able to get stability from that. And then this one is one from Kathy Orta, where it was a envelopes and tags album that I created. And it was really fun to create. I remember enjoying it. I will say there's a lot of things falling apart in this. And so eventually I need to go back and reinforce. But there's there's 3 pages in here that I really love. The first one is this idea of the flip and the interactiveness of a page. So I really loved that. I did it twice in this album. And I also gave myself a little pocket. And this has been in a few of my albums. I don't think I've done it recently, but it has been in a few of my albums, and I love that look to it. And then there's this one, which I don't know why I'm so drawn to it, but I really loved it. I got some twine and a cute little card frame, all of that flips open to a photo. We found an old drawing I did when I was in like elementary school, and my mom had found it, and so we compared it. Some journaling that you can barely see because I've written it in pen on a very dark pattern paper, but you can kind of see it in person. And then we went out, so just some photos, but just the layering of this and the interactiveness, I really enjoyed that. And then there's these, and they are just little booklets that I put together, I think with washi tape and just folding paper and just having fun. And each one of them pull out, again, the tape is gone. Adhesiveness is gone. And then it's got our maternity photo shoot that Sean and I did. And I just love this. So each page flips open, and then there's, another photo. And then inside each one is an additional photo. So I really enjoyed playing with this and creating this little idea too. It is a little bulky. It's not too bad. It is a little bulky. I don't know that it would necessarily fit into my albums nowadays, but for this one, it definitely worked. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. And then in this album, there is this one right here. I loved this little area. So it's not even a full pocket. It's like a half pocket to hold your, stories and photos. And then it's got the spot to have a 3x4 card. This is an envelope that's been trimmed down, but it's got the ability to hold, the 3x4, and then it flips. And then I have another pocket, which I did journaling about shopping, and I have a receipt in there. But I just loved the interactiveness of this and how many places there were to tuck things and do things. So that one I found really, really fun. And then I believe I have one more in here that I really loved. I think it might be this one where it is on vellum. I did a few vellum pieces. So I put a photo on top of the vellum to flip up, and then it flips. And then there's another photo, and you could even do another flip up that way, but just all sorts of fun bits. I really, like I said, enjoyed playing with this album. It was all sorts of fun. It is falling apart though. I definitely need to go back and adhere it. My day 25 is the same idea with the vellum. And then I had this little flip up. There's no photos or anything, just cute little flip up, and then a photo. And then there's 2 photos here. And then again, the ability to have a slide out for 3x4 pockets with some photos. And I have one of each on each one, which is really fun. And just a great way to have, you know, if you got a lot of photos and a lot of little stories to tell, you can do it all in one little area, which I loved. So those are my first 2 albums I ever created, which were handmade. I then went into not making my albums. However, they are still, you can tell they're a bit older designs and stuff. So this is 2025 and this one's 2026. 2025 was a rougher December for me personally. Nothing in our family, just I was in a job I just wasn't very happy with, and so it made it kind of rough. In 2016 I was pregnant with Nora, and she was a bit of a rough pregnancy, so I didn't quite finish the album, and then I kind of went back and just added photos. So yeah, but in this one is when I started to get inspiration and try to be a little bit more like quote unquote Ali Edwards type December daily. So I loved this, came in the Simple Stories thing I got, I believe, and I just added a bunch of little pieces to it, which I loved. And this is the start of using pocket pages. And this, which I just thought it was so clever at the time, I remember. So it's just little strips of paper to make the Christmas tree. And then I have his little ornaments. He only had 2 at the time. This was his second Christmas. So 2 ornaments, his birth one, and then the one he got the following year. And I loved this. I had stitched another pocket page on top of another pocket page, and I just thought I was really clever with that. And then there's one more in here. That's the start of the divided page protectors. You will see this as a theme, and the stuff that I do a lot is the divided page protectors, and that's in there as well. And then like I said, this album isn't quite complete. I made it to the 17th, the 21st. I made it to the 21st, and I think there's just cards and stuff in here, but that's okay. That's the way this year went, and that's just how it is. It's still complete enough. It sells enough of a December story that I was fine with it. And then 2016, again, you can see I love the divided page protectors. I also had fun. This is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know exactly how I did it, but I stitched a fun tree with sequins inside the bag. So the bag itself isn't stitched all the way through. So I snuck it through with my hand somehow and stitched it, and then did tags, which I just think it's so cute. I really love that. I don't think I could do that now, but I love how it turned out. Really, really cute. And then there is the start of adding sequins into my page protectors, and the start of large numbers. I love this. So just hand cutting out my own number, nice and large and fun, and then having a large photo behind it. The bag idea where you take a glossing bag, which I did, right? So that's repeated in there. So just a few of my favorites. And the start of documenting my kids' artwork. This, from 2016 onwards, is a theme that I do every single year. I always have my kids' artwork in my album in some way. It is so precious to me, and I love, love, love that. And I believe that was it. So again, I just started to add photos to the end of this one, but I've got large numbers again. So I did it for the number 18, and I also did it for the number for the 25th, for the 25. And I just think that's really fun, and something that I do a little bit here and there, maybe not necessarily within my own, but within the products that I get. It is something that you then see repeated over and over and over again. So those are my oldest albums, and the way those ones turned out, and some of my favorite pages from there. We're now going to move on to the more quote unquote modern albums, and I'll share those. Right, on to 2017. Now this one I don't know has necessarily a favorite spread in here for me. Just again showing you how my style, you start to see little bits of it going through every album. So here is, you know, a divided page protector, the 2x2 squares. I'm obsessed with those, and it just flips into all sorts of things. I started using a lot more larger photos, and being able to help tell the story with larger photos. I think this page might be my favorite one from the whole year. Now this is falling apart. It's a bit older, but I had this cute little wood veneer that I then glued on the 5, but I fused some sequins and then used frames to cover it up. And I just love that. And so it's on both sides, right? And I just think that's so fun and playful. And it's just me. I think that's when I got my fuse. So I just started to be able to add more and more sequins into my albums, which you see. I do lots of shakers in my albums now. So this is just kind of the start of that. Again, using bags, glossing bags into my albums. You do tend to see that. Maybe not as much as this particular album. This one, it was quite heavy on the bags, but again, 2x2 squares. There's a shaker. Here's the glossing. I did 3 here and they pulled out in different spots. So I've got journaling. This one holds the ornaments we got that year. There was just the 4 of us back here. This is Nora's first Christmas. Again, here's the start of artwork. So Jackson's artwork. I did enjoy this too. I took a frame. It is a frame, but I think it might have been like an actual framed envelope. And I put in some tissue paper, made my little title for our elf, and then this stuff pulls out and it talks about our elf, which we got. Max came to our house for the first time in this particular year. So it talks about that, which I thought was really fun. I don't want to take it out because then the tissue paper comes out with it, but that was a really fun and simple thing. But again, the interactiveness of being able to pull things out, I really love that idea. And then, you know, like a tag next to a photo, that sort of thing. You can see it's got a little bit more Allie Edwards influence to it. There's the glossing bag, page protectors, and then the see-through elements are starting to come through a bit with here, which I love. And then this one is also one where I started, let me just find it. I started stitching into my album, and that is something you see in almost every album I do, is a little bit of stitching some way, somehow. So I had stitched this cute little deer with X's, and then I also did it for my number there, which I thought was really cute. And then separating Christmas to make sure it's kind of its own little thing is something I've started to do a bit as well. And this was the year I used, like I said, all the glossing bags. So each one of us, so Sean and I, and then each kid got their own little bag to document, which was really fun. And again, the large photos start to appear. 2018 starts to be, again, scrap lifting and taking ideas from other people who participate in December Daily. So like the tag idea here, oh, I loved that so much. And this year was the start of when I learned when I didn't necessarily, I like to have everything in one album. I can't be more than one album. And so when I didn't want to see the back of something, I started using tissue paper to help be able to do things like put 2 page protectors together and stuff like that. So that's kind of the start of this one. Also getting the smaller photos. So I love this. I've got sequins going on. I've got me, what year is this? 2018. I'm pregnant with Barrett. So that's really fun. And I loved it. I loved it. And then again, got the bag repeated here. I've turned the cup into a pocket, all sorts of fun things going on. Highlighting a special event. And then this is one, here we go. This is one of my favorites, although it's now stuck. Here we go. I have this lovely photo of my daughter. So we went to a parade and it was so much fun. So I cut the photo in half, made sure that her face wasn't gonna be cut. And then it flips open. And so the interactiveness of being able to have journaling and then more photos, I just loved that. And I thought I was so crafty and so clever. And I love how this looks. It's simple, it's easy to do. And I loved the look of that. So there's that one. And then I also have one more in here. I think that is definitely a top. I just gotta find it. Again, kids artwork. Large photos. Again, a card turned into a pocket. There's that idea again. All the large photos. Here is that what I'm talking about. So I had these cute photos of my kids' Christmas program, and then I needed a different type of page protector, so I used tissue paper, and then I taped the two page protectors together. I love it. I love that. The square photos Instagram is so big, right? So I love that. I have my little Santa one, and I thought there was one more in here. Maybe it's in the following year. I'll have to look. It could be in the following year. It might be. It is. This is a fun page too. It's inspired by Teresa Moxley. I didn't love how it turned out. I was at the end of documenting for this year, so I just was done and didn't give it the care that it needed, but it's a fun idea of making Christmas trees out of little triangles. So it's got to be in my 2019 album. But yes, I love it. And I love how with each album you start to see, you know, more and more of how I document today. And I love these. I love each one of these albums for what they are. So again, still using page protectors and shaker pockets and keeping in with page protector ideas, but yet also out of the bag, or out of the page as well. This is definitely one of my favorites as well. It's two page protectors together, fused together, so that you have the ability to have more photos, more stories, but you still have that large photo, and I love that. Just trying to find big shaker, like shaker within the page protector, and then photos on top. These are little frames that I put together, and I just love that. It's a little bulky, but it's not too bad. Again, large photos. So much fun. This is not an Ali Edwards album. I remember I just had it hanging out and I wanted to get it used up. I don't know where this favorite page of mine is, so you're just getting a flip through. Kids artwork, again, repeated of that idea. Stitching into my album. Yes. Okay, it's not in this one either, so I will have to go to the next one. Let's move on to 2020, but there's a little flip through, and the fact that you still see more and more of that my favorite kind of ideas still showcasing there. Okay, 2020. I started to embellish the inside of the album a little bit. That's something that kind of started. 2x2 squares. This one was fun. I did a lot of inserts with this one and a lot of interactivity. That is something I've always liked about my December dailies, is that they are interactive. I started to do the slices into the photos, which is fun. I now have that be quite a feature, which I love. Just cute photos, all sorts of flip ups. Here it is right here. I don't know why I was thinking this was before Barrett, but that's okay. So the same idea as my daughter, when I split it in half, I split this one in half, but the other way. So it flips up and there's journaling and just pattern paper. But I love this spread so much. It's so simple. There's not much to it. You literally cut it, add your journaling, add a piece of paper, glue it down. Like, there's really not that much to it, but I love the impact it gives, and it's just so cute. So I'm a big fan of that, and that is definitely one of my favorite spreads. I also love this tag one. Now, it was tricky because I only had so much to work with and my tags are very squeezed in there, but I just loved how it turned out, and I decorated each tag for each one of us, and it's documenting our advent calendars for this particular year. And then they just all tucked in, and I just think it's cute and fun and playful, all sorts of color, and I love that page as well. Pockets, influencing by Ali Edwards, December daily, prep day sort of stuff. The smaller size is coming into play. The same idea as I needed different pages, so we've got this one that is glued to the back of something else so that I can focus in on something else, but you've got tissue kind of hiding that up. I love this one. This is a complete scrap lift from someone, but they're just the little pockets, or sorry, envelopes that pull out. And then I have a photo of my kid in his festive like spirit week at school. I love this spread. Definitely a favorite, this one. And I, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 of them pop out, and these 2 are sealed shut. I love that. I need to repeat this soon. And again, the pockets. Let's see. I think there's a couple more in here. The idea of putting words and stuff on my photos, but with the texture, so like using thickers and stuff, I really love that as well. Again, large photos, so cute. Documenting, you know, not so fun times back in 2020, taking 2 photos and creating little pockets with them, all sorts of fun things. I loved this one too. So this is a photo of our wrapping paper for that year, and then just using a little 2x2 spare page protector that has my journaling, and it just slips in, and I think that's super cute. Simple, but so effective. The little bits and pieces, 2x2s, they're stuck together. And I think that does it for this one. My kids' artwork was in the back for this year, but again, it's included. And then we've got, we're almost there, just 2 more albums. Okay, this one is so full. This one really probably should have, I should have just, I don't know. It's very full. There's a lot of things I love about this album, like all of it. I started to do using Canva and like making my journaling and focusing in on journaling and just taking a little extra time in documenting. And I think you can see that through this album. I did a lot of fun little interactive bits and pieces within large photos, some cut files. This spread I love with the tag and the number that it flips with another tag, and this fabulous photo of my youngest there. I just love this. This is definitely a favorite spread there. The large journaling, sequins everywhere. Again, there's another snow one, so it's the idea of putting things, this is in the page protector, however there's still the slice that you can read more journaling there, which had started back from the couple albums ago. Here's another favorite spread about Christmas, music, coffee, movies, all the fun things. I just love how this turned out. And telling my own story, right? So obviously most of it's about my kids, but my own story is included in little bits and pieces. And flip outs, using a heart to tell the story of the elves. Here's that same idea of that flip up from Barrett, right? I really love that. The tissue paper between the two so that I can do what I need to do with that story. This is also absolutely a favorite one that I have done. It is the idea of having all these little tiny stories, because I had more stories than I possibly could fit into this album, and it was already getting bulky, and I just created 3 little pockets to slide them all in. And I love this so much. I think it's super cute. Great way to get a bunch in. It's not even that bulky, which I was afraid about, but it's not bulky, and it just definitely a highlight there. Full photos with journaling on it. This is my first time trying to get a full like 10 by 8 photo kind of worked in. And here's the same split. So again, you can see I love it. Kids artwork. Complete scrap lift from somebody, but I love it because it flips open. There's a funny photo of Barrett sitting on Santa's lap, but just the red and the playfulness, and it just makes my heart happy. And so that's why it's definitely one of my favorites. I really enjoyed doing this too, where I stitched my number onto this cute little card. You can still read what it says, and then I checked off everything we did. I love that too. One of my favorite things. and Christmas, transparencies, all the fun hearts, and a large photo. So lots of goodness in here. And then we get to last year's album, which I also love and is also very thick. And this one probably has, every page I probably feel is like my favorite. So many fun things. Pockets with transparencies, stitching. There's the stitching idea going on. Large numbers. Pocket on the photo. Pocket, like all the interactivity, right? This was a really huge year for Canva for me. I did a lot of Canva type things. This is a cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict that I turned into being interactive so I could keep the photos of my kids' Christmas lists from last year, which I love. That is definitely a favorite as well. This one with all the fun stars, stitching, all the fun. I just love it. I love it. Again, it makes my heart happy, and that's why I'm so into it. There's my kids' artwork, always in there, you guys. Again, interactive pocket. And then this one is definitely a favorite, even though it's not talking about the best things. I'm talking about kind of some of the harder parts of December. But I had these fun little tags and these awesome wood veneer numbers, and I just put the wood veneers on the top of them, and then you pull these out and they correspond with whatever is happening. So Arctic outflow and the wind chill, it was freezing. So it felt like -24, which here is very, very cold. I know I live in Canada, but I don't normally live where it's that cold. So I love that. And it was a way to be able to tell stories that weren't so great, but in a pretty way, if that makes sense. And so I love this spread. Using the frames as well, just getting lots of photos used up. And okay, this one. I love this. It's a huge shaker pocket with a fun title that flips open to talk about coffee, which might be why I like it, because I'm such a coffee fan. But I just loved how it turned out, classic and pretty, and it's fun and interactive. But I also love this one where I use these awesome canvas pockets and told my Christmas stories. So this one is a photo of us having dinner and the story about us listening to Christmas music while we had dinner. And then this one is talking about watching Home Alone, and then my favorite Christmas music for the year. And I just love how this one turned out. It was exactly how I imagined it. And then I think I've got one more in here I wanted to share with you. Stitching. Again, complete scrap lift. This was not my idea, but I love how it turned out. So it's using a transparency, stitching it with one of the cards, and then having a photo over here with journaling and another photo to highlight this beautiful paper that I loved. And then on the back of it, I was able to just use some more pieces and have another photo with some journaling. And I just love this spread. I think it's really cute and kind of perfect for, you know, that time of 20-second type spread. And then we just wrap it up with Christmas, which was fun as well. I love this page too. It was one of the 10x8 pattern papers that I cut down and then used some of the stars in different ways. And then this flips open to tell my journaling with my photo, and then backed with some more transparencies. So yes, you can see definitely a pattern within all of my albums. Obviously it's changed over the last 10 years, but I love them all, like I said, for what they are. And I have had so much fun creating for this year. I can't wait to share with you my foundation pages. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this kind of little brief flip throughs and walkthroughs and look through. It's fun to go back through your albums and see something that maybe you see that you've done every single year. Even if you didn't mean to, but just to see your style change and all of that. So take some time this year, you guys, flip through your old albums, enjoy the memories and the moments and your creativity, and just enjoy where you are. I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.